Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news. Lord have mercy. Another saga with the Quintanilla family again. Okay, we already had the Maria Celestes writing a book about Selena's death based on Young Saldivar. And now they're trying to make a Disney and I think Telemundo version of the book. You know, Papa Joe, not Papa Joe, excuse me, that's the Latino version of Papa Joe Jackson. No offense, Mr. Quintanilla, Abraham the second, he sued Chris and won, or somehow I've got. Let me get the story correct. They went to court case, and Chris Perez cannot write a series about his book about Selena, but I don't know how the world Maria Celestes, her book is not a series. Well, now we have a situation going on with Selena's brother, who's the founder of Cumbia Kings. Fuiste mala de mi corazón. Like como la canción, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Well, him, from Renee Munoz from Intocable, and I remember, tú fuiste mala con mi corazón. I love that song back in '99 when I was about to turn 20 years old, okay? Abraham is now wanted, not the third, I'm talking about AB. Abraham Quintanilla III is now wanted for for child support. They have his face in his picture. And I don't mean to talk about racial issues. State of Texas is so inaccurate. And when I was doing my driver license, trying to update on my state license, and now I'm trying to do the driver license, I need to start studying on my test so I can pass the second time. Funny, the first time I failed in the classroom back in '95, but passed, and I did pass, yeah. And I passed my driver exam when I was 15, back in '95. Sadly, after Selena had passed away. Here in 2017, I get the funds to get the money to get my driver's, well, because the license expired on my 38th birthday. I'm able to put other, because I have a multiracial background, on the application. Because I did talk to the state and they said, yeah, it has other on there. Now, the reason I brought this up because I don't believe in one drop rule, and people should know that I'm very against the one drop rule. It was used to make slaves on the planet. That's why they was raping slaves, okay? And you know why I'm bringing this up, okay? And so it wasn't until 50 years ago when Love vs. Virginia case, when they allowed interracial marriage to be legalized, they said the Supreme Court said, that the one drop rules don't is unconstitutional. But people during the time the Black Nationalist movement, the white supremacists undercover promoters to keep people separate, unequal after integration, it's called like it is. And over the years, people started mixing with those who had money, started intermarrying. That's when this stuff started to come out later on. Okay, um, before you know the OG and yeah, then and all the other people down ensemble. Okay, Don Ross, that's all her name. All there, and then who married? Okay, there we go. All right, Don. Okay, there we go. Barry Gorey. Okay, yeah. Okay, come on. Quincy. Okay, Richard Pryor. That's all. Okay, okay. That's when this awareness of Martha Diane Carroll. Okay, so the '90s. That's when we found out like there was no longer a law anymore, thanks to Oprah Winfrey 20 years ago in Tiger Woods with the combination thing. And then the multiracial movement, they was trying to make it that I was defending that they should have a multiracial category on the census, but it was LULAC and NAACP, NASA Casa Raza, English American Indian Movement, Urban League, Asian League went against this. I think a Klansman Nazi will go against it, but I didn't say lose numbers. Now, why do you think I'm bringing the race? Well, they describe Abraham as a white male. And Latinos did escape the one drop rule, okay? Because remember the Treaty of Guadalupe, Hidalgo, they classified Latinos, especially those who are Mexican descent, as white. It ought to make them citizens. Way before Brown versus Education, they had the Winstheimer versus Mendez case that allowed Latinos, and it was a Mexican family. Okay, the Mendez family, the wife was Puerto Rican, the dad was Mexican American from California. It's for real. Okay, who allowed Latinos, especially those of Mexican descent, to be in white schools in 1930s. And a lot of people say, well, it's white versus white. But actually, these people who say that are very uneducated. Latinos, majority are multiracial. Um, Latinos, mostly are, including Mexicans, are mixed with Spanish, which is white, Spaniard, Native, and African descent. The third race, the third root of Mexico is African. A lot of Afro Mexicans during colonial period time did intermix. Interracial marriages were not forbidden. The Catholic Church allowed it. Thank God I'm a Catholic, okay? And so now they're saying, so therefore, so during, remember, all this mixed, that's why Mexico was against um, slavery due to an Afro-Mestizo president, Mr. Guerrero. Bringing historical document so folks can understand why I'm going against this, okay? So, remember, I live in Texas, and I showed a book that actually proved the fact that the Alamo was about slavery, and Sam Houston was a slave master, okay? And Santa Ana was also fighting. I was reading this small book, it's in my bag somewhere, that he was fighting not only for Mexico, but for African Americans in Texas, okay? So they can be, so our people can be free at the time. If they was still at the time, I could be free too, okay? And therefore, a lot of Afro American descended people both mixed in purity across the Rio Grande, especially went to Cahuila. Cahuila, I think, was connected to Texas at the time. But when they got stolen, it became Republic of Texas. So folks understand that um, remember when they had the Mexican-American War, that was kicking a lot of Mexican people out of the Southwest and taking them back to Mexico. When Jennifer Lopez, who's Boricua, before she played Selena, she played Me for Me. She played Maria. Remember, she was in California. They kicked her out and they made her go back to Mexico. Okay, that was going on. So during the Treaty of Guadalupe, there was a lot of stuff going on. And remember, a lot of folks do not know that back in the slavery days, a lot of Mexican Americans did help. I ain't talking about the Tejanos that fought in the Texan War with the Texans. I'm talking about the ones from Mexico. Did help the African Americans cross the Rio Grande. Okay, remember that John Horace and a lot of the people, even the slaves I was reading that book about the Rio, across the Rio, did go to Mexico. Sam Houston, they escaped. Even they had one from Nola, Louisiana, escaped and went to Mexico. Okay, went to Veracruz. A lot of people don't know the history. Okay. So we run against up because a lot of people don't understand why Latinos later on got classified as white, and I'm part Hispanic, the Spanish Creole, not Latin American mixture. Okay, it's the Spain went to Louisiana too. Okay, and they had Louisiana took it from natives. Then the French Canadians took over. And like I know, I was speaking Spanish, listen to Selena music and Tejano music and salsa merengue, all that. Did not know I had any dropper mixed Spanish heritage because my photographer was a Real. That's Spanish, okay? Born in Texas, 1847. Parents were from Louisiana, which makes sense because, yeah, it's part of Creole mixture, okay? Besides French and black and native, okay? So, anyway. So a lot of folks do not know that why I'm bashing this situation because the state of Texas is very ignorant. Okay, so Latinos, when remember the reason why a lot besides beautiful, we don't hear about the black part of Mexico. Jose Cancelos, who were born in Texas, okay, and lived in Mexico, made an essay, and I ain't talking about Cholo essay, I'm talking about we write in college, okay, so I don't nobody come on my channel with that mess, okay, let's be educational, okay, called La Raza Cosmica, and in that essay, it does talk about a constructive race mixing and getting rid of black people in Mexico by race mixing, mean the black, that's what the idea of mejor la raza coming, better the race, okay, and it wasn't only Mexico, the rest of Latin America, and I in my hypothesis, I think that Rafael Trujillo in the Dominican Republic, when who's Haitian and Dominican descent, who listed himself as a white who was mulatto, okay, was got that idea too, because they was getting rid of people out. That's why Haitian Dominicans do not get along, because many Haitians, they're mixed with French as well. I'm gonna check that out. Spife TV DT. Okay, please remind me, okay? Because I've been busy trying to get my life together. Okay. One. Okay. So anyway, going back to the situation. So that's why he was killing people who were African looking descent. That's why the idea of saving souls, if he did, it does have, it does not like being, but because of that idea, because of the helio, you could not, like the one particular Latino guy said when he was bashing the idea of Black America in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, the Latino man was saying about, and also about Mexico and Peru, well, Human Case Jr., the man commentary was saying you could not be black in the Dominican Republic. And the same thing with Cuba. When, what's her name, during the Black Nationalist movement, the Black Panthers, Angela Davis, when she came with the afro, you could not wear an afro in Cuba, okay? So and there's a lot of people endorse the idea, nothing wrong with race mixing by choice, but the idea of people in Latin America, instead of killing people, was to racially mix. Unlike in the United States, you know, that's the one drop rule. They want us to mix, and they had rape, and they had people go behind closed doors, go to other states and marry. You have folks who looked white, like in my case, my grandfather's daughter, who's my third grandmother, excuse me, great grandmother, who died in 1884. She was a Rao, but they changed the Raos. Collins, my third grandfather, like a white man. His mother was white, and yeah, and his dad was Creole passing, okay, and married a white woman after slavery in 1870s, okay. Slavery ended in 1865, okay. You know, okay, there you go. So I want people to be educated. So the reason I'm bringing this up, the historical background. A lot of folks understand that during this time in the Jim Crow days, a lot of Latinos did escape the one drop rule, and if they did have the one drop rule, um, and a lot of people in Latinos, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, Salvadorans, if they had any trace of African roots, we could classify as black. So I'm not saying that Latinos should be classified as black. I think that both communities, African American descent and Latinos, when what's his name, or when the NAACP at the time and LULAC being silly, in my opinion, went against the multi-racial category, it was stupid. Okay, it brought 19 and bring everybody in the United States together. A lot of most people in America really like it, and I do have mixed heritage and are racially mixed, but choose to deny it, and they don't want who have identity issues choose to deny it because they have issues with their other half, other parts of them they don't look like or whatever. Thank God I accept all parts of me. The African and Spanish, the French, the Irish, the English, and Native me, okay? And anything else in me, Lord, let me know, okay? I acknowledge all of it, okay? So, point is, no issues with me on that, okay? So, people accuse that, but I don't pay no bias, but that's why they say that. Liars. Anyway, point is, so, during this time in Jim Crow days, a lot of Latinos thought that they were white. And if you watch the movie Selena with his with their dad, they thought they passed as Italian. Dinos is Italian name, okay, for boys, okay, not not niños. And what that white man said, this is white only. They got Mexicans here. Remember Abraham took the chicken and tore it up, okay. And so that's why he told Selena when she was listening to Donald Summer, who's a sister, okay, that you have to be who you are, blah blah this and that, because he was singing non-Hispanic music. I think that he should let Selena do both. She was doing both, because a lot of folks know she wasn't only singing in Spanish. She has English tracks before she had died, and there's a video of her back in 1987, 30 years ago, her singing Michael Jackson songs and the Jets and all the back in the 80s when I grew up in the 80s, so I can remember those days, okay? I'm gonna be 38 soon, okay? So I remember them doggone days, okay? So point is, yeah, with her singing at the Houston at the Mid Idol Theater, there's when Selena was a teenager and she was singing English songs, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. It's on YouTube, okay? And Q Productions, which is Abraham owns, reveal that tape, okay? Which I wish there was in the Selena movie with Jennifer Lopez. It'd be nice to see that, okay? But anyway, point is that, so remember this up. So it wasn't until the 60s during the Chicano movement, the Brown Berets, and then they had the Puerto Ricans on the east side of the United States. Part of the Latino community was going against the racists because it was not treated as white. Socially, they was not Latinos weren't treated. They were known as white people to point out that they were not all that white. Okay, so but that's where the black and brown racism comes because there are some Latinos who try to harbor some white racist ideologies from and use it towards African Americans, and then you have African Americans descendant people who also take side from white people and attack Latinos. It's just a sad thing that minorities do this mess. Okay, her racism. So the reason I'm bringing this up because Texas is very uneducated about race. Latinos in this country, especially the Mexicans, are racially mixed, and either they can be mestizo or they can be Afro mestizo, which is majority. I mean, them are Afro mestizo because a lot of Afro Mexicans did intermarry or had children with natives and Spaniards in the reef. You don't see the presence because of the extreme race mixing. They mejor la raza to better the race so your future kids will come out lighter. So, do you understand? So, but you see it like in Selena's lips, big lips. Her hair is naturally curly. When I saw Bitty Bum Bum, that's her natural curly hair. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have a perm, a spiral perm in her hair. That's her natural curls in her hair. Okay? And not to do offense, but she has the rump. Okay? Okay, the big, okay, there you go. No wonder Jennifer Lopez played her, okay? So, point is, but Jennifer Lopez had a hookup. Let's call it like it is. In Hollywood, it's who you know. Yeah, your lips kind of big. Is your picture small, Jasmine? But that's after it was a Native American. Folks that don't know, in the Encyclopedia of Mexico that I read about African Mexicans, a lot of black men, a lot of Afro-Mexican men in the colonial period of the 1600s did marry Native American women in Mexico. So they had paros, they call zambos or paros or zamiegos, you know what I'm saying? And then one thing you got to understand, they had a caste system in Mexico where the Spaniards from Spain was on top. The Criollos, the Spaniards who were born in Mexico, was secondary. Then you had the mixed race people, mestizos, mulattoes, samba paros, and you know, they had different albanos, all different mixed race names using blood quartering ideology. Okay, on that end, and at the bottom, the Africans and the pure Africans and indigenous was at the bottom. Y'all get my point? So that's why Spain was kicked out of Mexico. That's why Vicente Guerrero and Benito Juarez and Maria Morelos Pavon, father, he was also a priest who's mulatto, by the way. They all went against Spain because of that racist caste system. And we was, well, when we go to look at Mexico, we don't see until 2015 they had the Afro-Mexican category. We understand that back in the caste system, when it was kicked out, they lost a lot of records who had black heritage, okay? And all that mixing, you have people who don't look black with mixed black heritage. So they didn't classify race, okay? So remember, they said we're all Mexicans, just like Jose Marti said in Cuba, there's no mulatto or white Cuban or black, and we're all Cubans. So that was their heritage and their nationality. It was up to the late 1800s when Jose Vasconcelos, who was born in Texas with 910 with Monja Rule identity, had made the La Raza Cosmica, and that's when Mexico and took the mestizo, but biracial identity of being Spanish and Native, and denied the African part. And I think, in my opinion, that Jose Vasconcelos did that because of that one drop rule in the beginning of in the 1900s, because they didn't want Mexican people, or any Latino people at the time, to be in the same pot. That's what Rosa Perez was saying on the View about Rada Villaga, because of that mentality. Okay, and that's why you had George Lopez, who do have African DNA. Grandma, who's less darker than him, told him not to have a black person, don't date a black person. Okay, the idea of your children may come out darker, which is funny because I know many black skin people who don't look black. There are those who do. Okay, don't get me wrong, but I know people who, you know, I mean, look at Sheila E. Okay, Sheila E. is not people that I know that, you know, and she's in urban music, you know. Hold on, y'all. Let me charge this phone. Oh, I can't wait to get a new phone. Oh, it's not hard enough ago. Sheila E., her dad is Puerto Rican. No, her dad's Mexican, excuse me. Her dad's Mexican American, and mother is Black French Creole. That's Nicole Rich's aunt. So, hold on, y'all. Something going on here. Okay. That's Nicole Richie's aunt. Okay, so yeah, because Lionel Richie, who I'm about to go see this Friday with Mariah Carey. I'm going to the concert, y'all. I got my ticket. God dog it, hold on. This old stupid dog on my charger. Okay. All right. So the point is that Lionel Richie adopted Nicole Richie, and her Sheila E's brother, Michael Escovedo, Peter Michael Escovedo, excuse me. That's Nicole Richie's real father. So Nicole Richie's part black, French Creole, and Mexican. Okay. So a lot of her, and she don't even. I mean, and Sheila E. You know what I'm saying. So point is, Güero Moreno. I heard Güero comes from when the French and Mexico was fighting, and they saw the French who were white. They because of the bread. Some of this one Chicano ladies who was my Spanish teacher 20 years ago told me, and they would call them güerito. And then Moreno comes from the word Moors because the Moors were darker and they were mixed with Arabian and African mixture, and they dominate Spain. Okay, so therefore a lot of folks, that's where the word Moreno comes from. But point is let me get to the point of this, y'all. So really, I'm bringing the history because Texas is so stupid. And I'm glad they recognize the multiracial heritage. Rick Perry, who's Republican, which I don't like, but I'm glad he did that back in 2014. During Juneteenth, recognized the multiracial heritage week, and then also you can check other. And I check other on my driver, like my driver and also my state ID, to make it accurate. Since they don't have multiracial category, but to have AB Quintanilla as white. And then let me cut back that too. If he was a white celebrity, Selena would already been alive before she passed. Probably already been famous. Her dad would have been famous too. They would not be discriminated against. Remember the mall, okay? Um, Howard Stern with the coon, what's her name? Robin Quivers. Whenever his bed wench, whenever had made that racial slurs and make fun of Selena, death. Then too, there's many white celebrities who owe child support. And y'all would not put this man on blast if he was really a white male. So my question is to y'all: can y'all into the driver license do now have Hispanic on there? And even though Hispanic is not really a race, but it is in a way in the idea of it because majority of Latinos from Latin America are racially mixed, and most of them look exotic. Not all of them look 100% black or white or native. So that's the stupidest thing to make this man who do look exotic. Okay, he don't look all the way. He look more native. Don't get me wrong. He has more like an Asian look. Okay, he might not look like a black person, but due to his sister, them big lips, and okay, and the admixture of her, talking about Selena, there is some black DNA in there. Okay, the mama, and I know the mama's part Cherokee. Okay, so nobody coming. Yeah, I know Marcella's part Cherokee and part Mexican. Okay, I know that. Okay, um, then too, and of course they're very lighter skin. They're not too light. That's the Spaniard DNA, but that is not a white male. And to have Latinos thinking that they're white who are mixed, y'all in Texas are stupidest. The state of Texas. That's why I'm glad I have put others in case. I mean, I don't do no crime, but God forbid. But you're looking for me, you're gonna have other pop on that computer. You know what I'm saying? So, and that can be a lawsuit if you don't, okay? Since the one drop rules don't longer a law anymore, okay? So, hope Trump's gonna try to change that situation, okay? I'm sure leaving the country, okay? But point is, a lot of people, you know, um, well, you said Spaniards. No, the Spaniards, and I'm Catholic myself. I mean, wasn't born Catholic, became Catholic. I don't like the Protestant, misinterpretation of the Bible. No offense to anyone is. Back in the colonial period, people who was afraid that natives and blacks would mix because of the different religions. You had the African religions and the native religion. Then you know what I'm saying? So they were not Christian. So that's the reason why that folks during colonial period time Mexico was afraid of it, but they allowed it to happen because a lot of black men in Mexico did marry a lot of Native American women. Then you had Native American women, men also married some women who were African descent and white. A lot of Spaniards married Native and black women, even not necessarily had those who did rape the slaves and rape the Native American women as well. Okay, and in the Catholic Church, you had to get married in order, which is I do believe in that, to order to have sex and have children. Okay, so so if you made a baby with a person that was not, that was even though outside of the marriage period, you had to marry that person, even though that's not per se that, but many people encourage you, since you made a baby with that person, you might as well go ahead and marry it. Okay, because unlike one thing in Protestantism, in white American white Anglo-Saxon Protestantism, the prejudice part of it was based on white supremacy, based on what the white race interpret the Bible. Okay, to remember when Luther left the church, that's when he made his own interpretation of the Bible. Okay, so that's why a lot of folks, that's why Peter said it was against it. St. Peter wrote that in the second chapter of the book, and not to preach, but that's the truth. Okay, that's why I don't believe in the second book, skip the first chapter. I don't believe in personal interpretation of scripture. That's why I left Protestantism, because he was like people putting their own idea with God's word. So that's why the Spaniards did not want the blacks to intermarry with Native one period of time, because of the pagan religions. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Will come together. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Okay, the Aztecs and other natives who had their own religion that's not Christian, along with the Africans. Okay, that's what they were scared of. But anyway, if they got married in the church, it was okay. So a lot of into the Catholic Church, based since even though they had bad people in it, Jesus, you mentioned about Judas, and there'll be bad people in the church in Matthew 13. Okay, because the church is a healing hospital. It's not. It's a human institution. Okay. Um, you gotta understand that they recognize slaves as being humans. Yes, they were harsh people. I became when I was 13 years old. Okay, African American French Creole church, dark, light, whatever heritage, whatever was near the neighborhood, and being Protestant, having people making their own interpretation of the Bible, especially some of my family is close to me that I got tired of hearing. I went to different churches. I went church shopping. That's how I became Catholic, when I found out that the main object of worship to God was communion. And we don't have communion on once a month. We have it every time we go to Mass. You know what I'm saying? That's the highest form of worship to God. So when I saw that, even though I had issues with the Protestant religion I grew up with, that's what also made me, because I mean that's the highest form. Because I said, why the other churches don't have communion? That's supposed to be the highest form of worship to God. So I remember saying that, but I'm not going to go into detail about my religious beliefs. Okay, so we're just bringing the fact that that's why you brought up the fact, Jasmine, you brought the fact that the Spanish was afraid of black and native mix, and that was the real reason why, because of the fact that if you had two people from different religions, from different parts of the world, come together, not in the Catholic Christian faith, they're gonna bring up a Protestant child. I mean, a pagan child. That's what they were scared of. Okay, so, but at the same time, they got married in the church. They was, because remember, the Catholic Church, even though there was people who were slave masters, and the Pope, people know now, it's very true, did tell folks you excommunicate if you participate in the slave trade. Okay, a lot of folks now know they don't tell you that in school, because it's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant school. I mean, nation. Okay, but if you read your history and church history, documents show the Pope at the time did tell the Spaniards or anybody who participate in the slave trade, slave Native American people or Africans, you are excommunicated as a sin. Okay, so people don't know nothing. People don't, they'll teach that it's not true. I mean, you have bad people, and a lot of folks understand. The funny part is that people bring about the Catholic Church being in slavery, but the Baptist Church was in slavery. The Second Baptist Church was the promote of slavery in the South. That's why that's why the American Baptist Church and the Southern Baptist Church split over the interpretation. Here we go. Person interpretation of scripture, the own interpretation of slavery. Okay, so and as an ex-Baptist, I see that mentality when in these churches. Not every Baptist. I know the churches that they're in the north or away from the south or don't have that mentality. They're more free. They had that Martin Luther King feeling, because he was a moderate. He wasn't a conservative Protestant, but more like a liberal. But in those who are from the conservative, you can hear that slave mentality and you obey master mentality. I remember seeing that it was supposed when I went to Catholic church. It was like there's hope outside of racism. Okay, so that's why I have that mentality. I mean, you have folks in the church that they don't have the mentality as well that I do, but I saw that because faith is the truth. Faith without works is dead. So if folks just keep thinking it's gonna always be that way, it's gonna always be that way. One thing I would like to tell my people after saying, if you want racism to go away, you have to have faith without works to get rid of it. Stop thinking that slave mentality. If you know whoever it sounds like Fiddler from Roots. When I hear people, it's always gonna be that way. No, it's not. If Harriet Tubman fell away, if Martin King and Fred other people in our history felt that way, we'd still be in worse shape we're in right now. Okay, so I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's on such. But let's get back to Selena. I don't want to change the subject but I read about the racial part because they list Abraham as a white man, and if he was white, you think that his name be all over the Texas? No. There's so many. I mean, funny. Bill Clinton, who has a biracial child, a multiracial child, who's part black. Do you see him on child support when he was in his prime time? No. Okay. So, and there's many other people who are white who have made babies out of wedlock or old child support with their ex or whatever, would be ex-wife or girlfriend, and you don't see their name blasted all over the place. The only person I know of color who got a pass was what's his name? Matthew Knowles, who's dark skinned, okay? Who's a dark skinned African American man, Beyonce's dad. And I was shocked. I mean, it was the baby mamas that put him on blast, and he owed $1,000 child support. I'm surprised Matthew Knowles ain't locked up. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, he can make a remake with Akon about that situation. Locked don't let me out. Okay, so that's one thing. But no, I mean, I worked with Greg Abbott, who's now the governor, and I worked with him like face to face. I worked with him in child support, and like I said, I can't tell no name, whatever. But I noticed a lot of men of color or African American and Hispanic men was on my list. Like I can say, okay, I can't go in detail that when I was working for them as a temp. But the truth of the matter is, I really brought it up because if he was a white male, 100%. Okay, this man name would not be all over blast. Everybody would not be putting his name out there. Y'all see, so, but you want to put him as white, and I mean, let's be accurate, put Latino, mixed race or something, Afro mestizo or something, god dog it, multiracial, with Latino heritage or something, other, okay, so it's so stupid. And I think Young Turks talk about they had folks that was darker than me who are African American classified as white. Young Turks did a story about that. And you gotta understand that Texas is so silly, uneducated about race. That is no joke. Texas is so uneducated. As a multiracial mixed race person of African American, French, Spanish, Creole, English, and American, that's why I talk about race a lot. I hate to talk about it. I wish I could lead this state, okay? It's a racist state. They want to hurt people with the idea of race, not, help someone. The Klan is here, okay? So, point is, even in the judicial system, okay, whether it be lawyers, judges, or whatever, when they revealed that, I wasn't shocked because it was like that back in the day, in the Jim Crow days. So, and even the idea that stealing Texas from Mexico wasn't based on race, on slavery, okay? So, you gotta understand that's why I love Mexico because it opened the door for people after sin. If I was doing that time, obviously the Rio Grande to get away from Massa too, okay? So if I put that book out there, let everyone know that I would not making it up, okay? So point is, if you're going to classify A.B. Quintanilla, be accurate with him. He does not, and you're not treating him like a white man because if he was a truly white male celebrity, this name would not be blasted all over the place. Let's call it like it is. Y'all will keep that hush hush. You get that white privilege. There's no white privilege in this situation here. So can you please stop being inaccurate based on race? If a person has mixed heritage, okay, can we start now? I don't care what they look like, be dark as midnight. Don't matter if they have mixed heritage or white as shirt. Let's start being accurate with it. I'm getting very tired that I get called a liar for telling who I really am, not what people want me to go on and identify as. Okay, I'm not denying my mixed heritage. Okay, it wasn't for the non-black and the black coming together. And back in the day, my parents, my grandparents, myself, my family would not be here, and I would not be talking to y'all. So let's be. If you're gonna classify race, let's be real. That where are your I see. I know you was part black. I know you was part black. Your DNA test for that. Um, my Chicano sister out there in Cali. Okay. Um, she's Afro mestiza and a beautiful Afro mestiza. Okay. Point is, it doesn't make any sense for them to misclassify this man. If he was a white man, he would not have the struggles in the industry. He Everybody will know who Kumi Keys was. You go to an average white person that doesn't listen to Latin music, they're not gonna say, "Oh, I know who Kumi Keys is." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? It's silly. The only reason why everybody know who he is because Selena's death. Okay, sadly she became mainstream famous when she died. That's the sad part. Okay, so all right. All right. So now I'm sorry, y'all, that my battery went out. I got charged again. So I'm holding this thing while I'm charging it. Okay. So what I'm saying is that they should be accurate about this man's background, and then two, it's so silly. Like I said, Texas is very ignorant. Even when the woman who won Miss Black Texas University, and I do defend her winning it because I mean it was a pageant when a part black named American woman won Miss Navajo. Okay, um, when she won, people were shocked. Like not only of course in our community, in the community that we know we're not pure black, so that's obviously how people can get upset. But people like shot she black? Like, really? Y'all know that. I mean, y'all forgot history 20, 50 some years ago, okay? So, she could pass for Mexican. See, right there. I mean, if Miss Melanson did not even tell you she was part black and she was in the body, or you would think she's part Mexican. She was Mexican, okay? And she won Miss Black Texas because she was too light. She don't like a white woman. She is part white, God dog it. But her dad's Creole, her mom is white, okay? So it's silly, but and actually shout out to her brother. He supported me for staying up for her on social media. Okay, thank you, Mr. Milan. So we need to work together since you work in the entertainment industry. Your sister is very beautiful, beautiful sister, beautiful mixed race sister. But anyway, the point is, um, but the sad part is that the I just when I saw, I said, yeah, I mean, y'all gonna put me as white, and you're not treating him right because, like I say, if he was a white man, he was some Brad Pitt, the old Charlie Sheen, y'all would not sit here and blast him all over the world about him old child support. So I mean, silly, but so that's cut to the chase about the racial part. I think they should change that. Just put Latino, Hispanic, mixed race, Afro mestizo or something. God dog it, okay? Really. But let's stay at Texas. Anyway, let's get to the subject about child support. Okay, so they say he owes for one child. I ain't know.